welcome to Down to Earth. I'm Daphne Richards. We continue to get great questions from our viewers, and this week's no different. Mark and Jana are having questions about their tomato plants. Now that the plants are grown in, they've noticed that they're kind of crowded. They planted them a little too close together, and that some of the lower leaves on the plants are not so healthy. So they're curious if they might have a disease problem, and if they should remove those diseased plants. Well, if the plants were diseased, they should definitely be removed. But I love this question because so many people that grow tomatoes have the same one. From these pictures that Mark and Jana sent to us, the plants actually look pretty good. So they have a little insect damage on the lower leaves perhaps, but overall they look pretty healthy. During the tomato growing season, I get quite a few questions about yellowing lower leaves such as these. Well, because of the heat and our lack of rainfall during the summer, and because we often plant tomatoes a little too close together, those lower leaves do often turn yellow and maybe get a little scraggly. With our vegetable gardens, many of us are extra vigilant that nothing goes wrong early in the season to damage our potential harvest, so we may tend to think that insects or diseases are an issue, but really the plants are just drought and heat stress. It's a very common problem in raised beds, where peat moss-based potting soils are commonly used. That peat moss does dry out very quickly, even if it's not watered properly. And those are very difficult soils to get re-wet once they've dried out a little too much. Our plant this week is Peter's Purple Beebalm, Monarda Peter's Purple. There are a lot of great monardas for our area, but this is a fairly new one to the market. Research at the Dallas Arboretum has shown this plant to be extremely resistant to powdery mildew, and that can be a problem in bee balms in some areas. This plant loves the heat and the full sun. It'll be covered with gorgeous light purple blooms that attract hummingbirds and butterflies, and also, as its name implies, bees. The literature on this plant says that it will flower in June and July, but mine flowered in early May and it's still blooming. It's listed as hardy to zone 6, which is around 0 degrees, and I found that to be true this year. I planted mine in the summer last year when they were about 6 inches tall and wide, and they didn't grow much. When we had our very hard freeze this winter, those plants were covered in snow and they looked like mush. I thought for sure they were goners. But after the snow melted and the temperatures warmed up just a little, they were growing like gangbusters. It shoots up very quickly to about 4 feet tall and grows in clumps that get about 2 feet wide, so give it plenty of space. Water it a couple times a week during the hottest time of year. To do in your garden this week, it's getting late in the season to be planting, but if you didn't make time to fill in all the holes in your garden, you can still plant some heat-loving bulbs such as daylily, crinum, and ginger. We'd love to hear from you. Please visit klru.org/ctg to send us a question or plant of the week from your garden.